Bonjour, bonsoir tout le monde. Merci de votre participation. Je m'appelle Andrzej, je travaille pour CertU et aujourd'hui je vais vous parler d'un outil qu'on a développé en interne. Moi je travaille pour CTI, je fais des analyses, du threat research, mais je suis aussi un fan de nouvelles technologies, donc l'année passée j'ai décidé à regarder ce qu'on peut faire avec les LLM. Et on peut faire pas mal de choses. L'outil dont je vais parler, c'est un fruit de mes expérimentations et c'est en double sens parce que j'ai utilisé du vibe coding pour développer cet outil. Et l'outil lui-même utilise l'IA en tant que sa fonctionnalité essentielle. Donc, voilà, la présentation sera en anglais. Je m'excuse pour ça, mais mes slides sont en anglais, donc ça va être mieux d'adapter les paroles, quoi. Donc, let's go. The presentation is TLP clear, though there is nothing sensitive inside. That's the first thing. The agenda of the presentation is I will first say what is CertU, what CTI in CertU means. I will then present our CTI framework, which is a framework that is publicly available. You can find it on our website. And then I will explain you how this idea to automate certain things was born. And then we will go to see AI Report Analyzer. I have some videos. I will show you how it works, how it extracts strategic and tactical information from a cyber report, then technical indicators, how it helps us with to draft our products that we distribute to our constituents and clients, and I will end up with the conclusion. So what is CertU? I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with CertU, but we are the cybersecurity service for EU administration entities. That means the European administration, agencies, bodies, institutions like European Commission, Parliament, or smaller ones. We are at the moment a little bit less than 80, but we will soon be a team of 80. We act as a sort of central cybersecurity hub for EU institutions. So we ensure coordinated responses to cyber attack. That is the coordination role, and then we also have a technical role. We have our own SOC with a managed service for our constituencies, the IR, CTI, security consultation, red teaming, all kind of technical capabilities that we provide. Our constituents, we have more than 90 agencies that we support, smaller and bigger, and for smaller we often take care about the technical part, response, SOC, and so on. For bigger institutions like, for example, Commission or Parliament, they have their own teams, but we still play a coordination role with incident response facilitate collaboration with nation states and all that. CertU CTI. We are a team of nearly 10, and we do both geopolitical and technical analysis, and often combined, ideally. Our main goal is to disseminate threat alerts and other products to our constituents.
like any other CTI team, I guess. But we also do, we have threat research capability. And the most, if you imagine a day-to-day life of a CTI analyst, it would be analysis of a report. So a new cyber threat report comes out, could be public, could be private. For example, I don't know, a breach of Ivanti Connect Secure, and then we analyze. One analyst gets selected to analyze this report. This is more or less how this analysis inside CTI is done. So in the top left corner, you see the report. It can come from open internet, from private intelligence providers, from our partners. It could also come from threat research, incident response from different sources. Then a CTI analyst is going the analyst that is assigned to this report is going to analyze this report, and then the essential goal of this analysis is to extract structured information from this report so that we can put it into our threat intelligence platform that we compile all our knowledge, which in our case would be OpenCTI and MISP. We have kind of a combined hybrid platform. Then if this report meets our criteria to alert our constituents, so we have a well-defined set of criteria when we deem the report to be worth to alert our constituents about this activity, then the analyst might decide to push a threat alert to our constituents, which is one of our like core products that we provide. But then I will not speak about this during this presentation, but this data, the structured data that we store in our intelligence platforms are then used in our other products, for example, like a quarterly threat landscape reports. So this is the situational awareness here. Of course, we also deliver IOCs to constituents and to our managed SOC, and different other products as well. Now, let me explain you a little bit in a simple way how we how we extract this structured information, how we break up the report to pull apart and to extract the structured data and then push it to this platform. It's more or less, this picture shows it, more or less what information we extract. We want to know what countries were attacked, what software were breached, which sectors, which malware was used, which threat actors was this report attributed to, and so on, and so on. And for this, we are using something that we call CTI framework, which is a public document on our website, which we describe how we operate, what kind of entities we use during our CTI analysis. And that structure the tool I will be speaking about uses, it reflects this CTI framework, right? Okay, but then this is more or less a day-to-day life of a CTI analyst. It's time-consuming still, because the analyst has to read the report, it has to extract all the information, he or she has to encode this in the system, which is a lot of manual clicking and so on. We had developed some automated scripts in the past, but it was like not that flexible in the end. Then I had this idea since already some time, why not automating it? And then, you know, after this LLM started to be everywhere, then I said, yeah, this is something, and I started to experiment with this, and I was like, yeah, why not use this actually to automate it? And this is how the AI report analyzer was born. I will show you a few demos. This is the screenshot of the a welcome screen and yeah, the dashboard. Currently, it outputs data to OpenCTI, MISP, and it prepares the threat alerts. As you can see, I will show you the cards. Yeah. So this is the analysis workflow in a structured way. That's a sequence how we do it, let's say, via workflow. And so I will explain each step, of course. But normally, we will start with the report fetching. Everything here will be partially automated. But I have to say right away from the start that an analyst has control over this process at all the time. And at each moment, he or she can modify or remove certain things from there. So. Okay, this is how we fetch the report with the AI report analyzer. So let's say we have a report. That's the report about Ivanti Connect Secure, published by Mandiant, I think last year. It's a rich report with a lot of information, lots of indicators. You know, you have tactical, strategic, and technical information. So let's get the URL of this report. Let's just put it here, add it. And just, you know, an analyst can click Fetch Report, and then the tool will talk to the LLM that behind the scenes it will go to that URL, and we fetch the text of the report, ignoring all the, for example, the ads on the website. Like we were doing this manually, but often there were some ads and stuff like that. And here we will not have it. And it will paste it here in this small window here, just the text extraction. But the analyst can, for example, modify this text. He or she can say, focus only on Europe, or you know, can remove certain data here. Okay, but add some information here. All will be taken into account during the subsequent analysis. Yeah. So now let's start from extracting the strategic and tactical data. I call it like this, but this will be the data that we encode in OpenCTI, which is, I'm not sure you're familiar with the product, but it's a threat intelligence platform developed by a French company, Filigrane. Yeah, so let's run it. So we just click Start AI Analysis, and the tool will display the different section of the analysis, and an analyst can disable or enable, because there is not always everything is needed, and it takes time. So even if the analysis is parallelized, yeah, so you can do it. Start analysis, and then the tool is working, and that's the analysis. It started, and you will see that if one analysis of one section here, so malware, software, threat actor, which is still from our CTI framework, all that, the result will arrive as they are finished. I think on this video, the first is the timeline information. This is the extraction of the time frame where the activity took place. This is very essential in encoding activities. We have to know when this happened. And then you already have the result for which vulnerabilities were mentioned in the report and were used, and which software was targeted, Ivanti Connect Secure, which threat actors were mentioned. So there are two threat actors here. But certain sections, certain parts of the analysis will take a little bit more. Yeah, the incident summary, will be the first. There will be a summarization. You will see that is exactly as we want it. We have some very strict criteria how this has to be formulated. It has to start with the date, on date, this report says this and this, and then it has to use only UK English and all that. So it will, yeah, the tool will do all this for us. And I will show you, next slide is about the review. The analyst will have a chance, an opportunity to modify everything before he or she clicks submit to MISP or submit to OpenCTI. On this slide, yeah, it can take some time because yeah, there's a lot of queries that the tool does to the AI model, so it might take a little bit longer here, but yeah, let me check if I can. No, not here. But I think yes, the summary has arrived. Like I say, there is a there has to be maximum, I think, 75 characters or something like that. You see, and yeah. So, like the first part is done. We'll go over to analyst review and correction. So, a human analyst will now scroll and review what the AI has extracted from this intelligence report. As you can see, the analysis is completed. The TTP, that takes a long time, but this is kind of for us also important. And the AI will give the, yes, this is the procedure, so the contextual information on how this TTP was used in this report. This is also very important, I think. It will explain why it has chosen this TTP, right? This is identified targeting. I added France manually, I think, there, so that it, but yeah, you get the idea. Malware, yeah. So there was a lot of malware in this report, so it got all this malware, and it actually automatically queries OpenCTI if that malware entity is already encoded in OpenCTI. If it is, it will then link this new encoded data with already existing entities, so that it's not duplicating this. And here I just deleted one entity with one click, so, and here I can edit it. So if analyst says, hey, this threat actor was indeed mentioned there, but the activity is not really a high confidence, or we don't consider it related, he can remove. He or she can also remove the TTPs like this with one click. Yeah. Yeah. So this data then, maybe I didn't mention, but within OpenCTI, if you know OpenCTI, we use an incident entity to encode that. So each activity we actually, or report, we actually map to incident, because report, we have also reports in OpenCTI, but those are kind of non-really very structured. This information that we encode here, it's really high confidence information that we can rely on when we analyze something later on. All right. Now, technical extraction. So we will switch here to the second tab. It's the MISP tab. I guess you're all familiar with the MISP. It's a sharing platform for indicators of compromise. This tool will now extract the indicators of compromise from the report. It will display it here. It will give the chance to the analyst to review them, and then the analyst can automatically push it through the MISP. As you can see, analysis is finished. The attributes for the MISP are there. In the comment, the tool places why it selected this, so that everything is clear. You know, there can be URL, MD5 hashes, file names, IP addresses, all that kind of stuff. And the event title, so the MISP event title. MISP event for me is like corresponding to a report more. So it also been copied from already from this OpenCTI strategic tactical analysis there, right? So now the analyst can push it to the MISP, right? Yes, he or she could push it to the MISP, but we had a lot of problems with false positives with the IOCs that we push. You know, our managed SOC has been complaining that we push some, you know, like hashes of Microsoft signed binaries or for example, like things that are legitimate otherwise. So we've implemented a part that is called IOC validation that can actually, there's this button, validate IOC there. That's another event, but doesn't really matter. The IOCs were extracted. There are IPs because I wanted to show you this on IPs, and there was no IPs there on the other report. There's this small button, validate IOCs, right? When this gets clicked, the LLM will judge if the name can, if the attribute value can cause false positives. How it does it? One thing is it will judge itself based on common sense, and the other thing, it has an API key for VirusTotal. You could query VirusTotal and then receive this data and judge based on the data from VirusTotal. So you see, this IDS flag was unchecked here, and there was a benign sign. You see, the IDS flag in the MISP is denotes if this will be used in IDS detection or not, if this IOC will essentially be effective or not. And if you click, like here, I click, and there's an explanation why the LLM has deemed that a false positive. And there was one, for example, this IP here, it checked in VirusTotal, and this is the reputation engine of VirusTotal told it it's a Microsoft, it's an Akamai IP. So that means it's a big CDN. You cannot push it to the IDS because you will have a lots of false positives, right? So this is like kind of also automated right now. And then we can go to what? To result submission, right? Yes, this is how this would look in OpenCTI and in the MISP behind. There are these, all these IOCs were automatically pushed. In OpenCTI, you have these entities, malware, you know, there manually it would take time. I mean, much more time. And then the last thing here that I have is threat alert generation. This is one of these documents that we sent to our constituents about malicious activity if we deem that this activity could affect them, right? And on this screenshot, you have an example of this threat alert. It's a well-defined YAML document. This is not really TLP Amber strict. By default, the analyzer just puts this here, but it's the Mandiant report here. And yeah, it uses this information from structured analysis and IOCs, and it will generate this alert. It will attach the MISP URL so that everything is in one place, and then this gets formatted into a nice form like Markdown or PDF. Yeah, and of course, most of the time, the analyst will have to edit it a little bit because it will be not perfect, but it's kind of a starting point for you know, like drafting a document for constituents, yeah. And yeah, and these are the conclusions. What I've learned is that vibe coding is fast and efficient. The AR report analyzer is really a massive time gain for our team because it automates all this, like you know, the first thing what we do, it's completely automated. The analysts can focus on other more important things, could look on, yeah, more nuances, or can even be doing something else, like, yeah. And again, analyst's control is fully maintained at each step. Nothing gets written really automatically. So we are not yet on the level of agentic workflow here. Yeah, there is no automated agents, but yeah, it's just a tool for an analyst. Now we are really thinking that maybe some parts of our other workflows that are automated can use this tool. The tool is already prepared to serve as an API. I would need only to implement some kind of API key authentication or something like that. But yeah, so I could imagine the IOC validator can be maybe used with automatic push from OpenCTI of indicators to Splunk or something like that. You name it. And more backends can easily be added. It does not need to be only OpenCTI MISP. You could add some other stores there. That's also possible. And I didn't show this. Worth to highlight is that analysts can also choose the model for each analysis. So we have local LLM models. We have remote that are much powerful, but we cannot use it in some cases which are very sensitive. So this is also possible. Yeah. And I think this is the end of the presentation. I don't know if you have time for questions. Vous pouvez poser des questions en français si vous voulez.
Si vous voulez, on a 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes for any questions. Yeah. Est-ce que vous avez des questions?
Are you pushing organizations to report directly in MISP format?
Do you mean our constituents? Or
yes. Well, the constituents or the reporting companies.
Oh,
wouldn't it be good to have a format instead of passing through this LLM interpretation of a report?
Yes, that's a very good question. So we do have the providers that are pushing to the MISP and to OpenCTI, but for our analysis, it just doesn't work because they are encoding it differently, each of them. And then afterwards, it's not compatible. One is adding some campaigns entity, the other one will add incidents. There is just too much discrepancies between. We cannot force them to maybe it's the problem with the sticks format that it's just too, it allows for too much flexibility, if you know what I mean. So this is why we are doing this, yeah, okay?
Merci beaucoup. Merci pour cette présentation. Well done, your presentation.
Merci.